Hello friends, welcome to Teed Up Grand Strand, a production of Wingding Media, presented by the Myrtle Beach Golf Trail and Thoroughbreds Chop House. I am really excited today because I've got my friend of 30 years in the golf industry, Mr. Golf himself, Craig Kenley. Hello, brother.
Hey, Jay, great to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.
You too, sir.
Thank you so much for coming out to that.
My pleasure.
I know you're a busy man, and I don't even have any notes because I'm going to go just from years of knowing Craig and knowing of him before I met him years ago. Craig, you've been in the industry for years. When did you start in say, the North, South Carolina, and then the Grand Strand?
Sure. October 12th, 1989, Randy Broughton was the head pro at Burning Ridge. So he hired me, and that's where it started. I fell in love with it. I grew up at Myrtle Beach National.
Nice.
So I knew golf pros and knew Mr. Bullock was the longtime golf pro at Myrtle Beach National, and Billy Avent was a longtime assistant there. And so I'd grown up in that atmosphere, and always kind of thought maybe that would be where my feet would end it anyway. So
was your family in golf before
No,
you?
my father was a drywall contractor.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So
you got the strength from him.
There you go.
Huh?
But he loved golf and played. He joined Myrtle Beach National in '77. I think it opened in '76, and he joined in '77. So that's where I learned to play.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Bullock there's a few local golf professionals, myself, Chuck Hutchinson, Kirk Sanders, who I think is in Atlanta now, maybe.
Right.
But we all cut our teeth there. I mean, that's where we
I didn't
grew
know
up
that.
playing.
So I started golf in '92, and I started in maintenance. I was trying to figure out what golf was all about, and then I went to National about 2 years later. So '93, '94, and I'd heard stories about Mr. Bullock and the team.
So you're Ron Crump era.
Yes. Well, just after Ron, Jerry Cox.
Okay.
Jerry
one of my
Cox.
oldest friends.
Exactly.
Love Jerry.
I love Jerry Cox too.
Yeah, love Jerry.
And he's one of my mentors in golf.
Yep, absolutely.
So I, National, Myrtle Beach National was like the place to go.
It was
at that time,
it was
right?
the mecca for our area. Baytree, and of course, unfortunately, folks now don't remember Baytree because it's been gone for quite some time. But those two places had it covered. I mean, three courses at both places, and you could stay there all day.
Right. So you got a ton of wealth from all these wise men of golf.
Sure.
And now you're one of the wise men, buddies.
Questionable, but thank you.
Yeah, you are. So what, 89 to 90 something?
To 2019.
Yeah,
2019.
I'm talking about that big rush. How did that go for you?
So between 89 and let's say 200, whatever you want to pick, 4 to 6, whatever, the Grand Strand was growing at such a massively.
They were growing every day.
It was every day. Something was being. I can actually remember being in a meeting with some of the big names in the Myrtle Beach area and saying, hey, we got to stop or we're going to work ourselves all out of a job.
Yes.
But they kept building, I mean, at that time, it seemed like the right thing to do. We all were all in because the young guys that were assistants were now getting their first head jobs, and we were all growing at the same time. The area was growing. I was lucky enough to work for some amazing men along the way, Randy being one of them, but then worked for Mr. Shaw and Daryl Childers and Steve Taylor at Deer Track for years.
These are all legends, guys. If you don't know about these guys, they've done so much for the history. They founded our history, Grand Strand golf.
Absolutely.
That's what they founded.
Definitely some of the founding fathers, Mr. Shaw for sure. And even the other two, Daryl was a wealth of knowledge and a great mentor.
So National, you did that. You saw the big boom. We went to like 120 courses, right?
We did. We jumped pretty fast.
And they were busy. They were busy.
Everybody was busy.
Right?
I can remember being as a kid. It's funny growing up in Myrtle Beach.
Right.
Being a member at National, playing. I played a ton of golf at a young age. We played all the time except for March, April, and October, and we joined at Wellman Club in Johnsonville.
Oh yeah, which is part of the golf trail.
Exactly, and
sponsors.
we played there during those months.
Yeah.
My dad and his group of guys, that's where they went. So they drug Chuck and I and Kurt and Clint all along with them, and that's kind of where we played our in-season golf. But you couldn't. I mean, I can remember being at Burning Ridge. This was obviously, guys, before computers. We hand wrote tee times and
big books,
and. There was never a day when East and West Course at Burning Ridge wasn't sold out, except for the dead middle of the summer or the dead middle of the winter.
That's right.
And we had the Canadian folks that would come in Jan 1.
Snowbirds. Yeah, we like the snowbirds.
Oh, absolutely. They were there. People don't realize they're such a huge part of our history in Myrtle Beach golf.
They are.
They've been coming since the 70s.
Right.
And people don't realize it.
So fast forward, we've had some great years in golf, and then it went dull a little bit. Development took over. They bought golf courses. We're down to about 84-ish, I think.
Yep, 83, 84.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And you're in the golf packaging world also now.
I am.
So we'll talk about that in a second.
Sure.
But golf is booming. Okay.
It is.
So how are we going to continue doing that? I think by shows like this and sharing like
information.
The history.
There's such a broad and and large group of men now that are leading. I think of Jay Smith at Prestwick.
Oh, yeah,
Jay's now in his early 50s, and he's a kid who grew up in Myrtle Beach golf as well.
Oh,
even though he's from Spartanburg, he cut his teeth. I think his first job was doing carts at Burning Ridge when we were Chuck and I and Brad and were there with Rand. So I mean, he's been around such a long time, and of course he had a mentor in Mr. Durant, and these guys that are in the forefront now, and I only say Jay because I know him and we're friends. But there's a handful of those guys, and the guys that I work for at Golf Trek and Travel Golf, Parker Smith. Those guys are now taking the lead of what.
The packaging.
The package lead of what the guys started for sure.
And this is the only area that competitors work together.
Absolutely.
And everybody grows.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah, it's almost like they push each other forward.
Right. I got a note here from one of our viewers. They heard, actually it's one of our buddies, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. So they wanted to say, after your golf course pro life, what have you been doing, and how do you enjoy it?
Sure. So it ended. It ended in April of 2019. So nearly 30 years of time being
working in a golf shop.
In a golf shop. I raised my children in them. My son played. My daughter played high school golf.
Right.
They kind of just grew up in that atmosphere, and I think for a few months of just trying to figure out where my feet were, COVID hit.
Oh, yes.
So some different different paths had to be taken for a minute, but not long.
Right.
And then I was sitting around on a Sunday, and I reached out to Parker, and it just kind of clicked. Right. And I actually started work on that Tuesday. I mean, it happened so fast.
So he became a golf director. I mean, he's a great golfing teacher. So let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
I got about 30 seconds before they get to turn the lights off. So you teach.
I do.
I need a lesson.
I still teach, and I coach a local high school team. I mean, I still try to do that mostly as just kind of giving back a part of me that I was lucky enough to have.
Nice.
Being around Mike Schroeder and Ted and Chuck Frick and those guys that have kind of led that part of that part of Grand Strand golf for sure.
So I get a lesson right after this show.
Absolutely, sure.
I need one. Anybody that gets me into, like, I don't know, in the high 80s is going to be a magician. Your son Carson was on a show.
Sure.
And you've done so much. He talked about as he was a kid, and you had him there when he was a baby on the golf course. I think that's amazing.
It's been cool. I mean, to watch him grow now as a man, 26 years old. He lives his own life, and I'm super proud of the stuff he's accomplished.
He's your assistant coach now.
He is the assistant coach of the high school team, which we love, and we do that together for a reason. You know, it keeps us bonded and connected. I mean, we're pretty close anyway, but it does keep us. You know, and we're so ridiculously blessed with those kids. They're amazing. It's the Myrtle Beach Christian Academy team, and they're just great
and they're
kids.
champions. They won so many accolades. We
have won a lot. We have won a lot lately. We really have.
The Facebook page was full of all their accolades.
We have been really fortunate the last few years, especially. So it's been nice. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, great. Sure. Well, we in the industry appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've done to make it easy for us guys.
Thank you so much.
And come see us again.
It's always a pleasure.
After my lesson.
Always a pleasure.
Friends, until we tee it up again, happy golfing.
Absolutely.
Introducing the Myrtle Beach Golf Trail, a new way to experience golf in Myrtle Beach. With over 20 courses to choose from, there's a perfect golf vacation waiting for you. Find the trail that's best for you at myrtlebeachgolftrail.com today.
30 years, Thoroughbreds Chop House and Seafood Grill has been widely considered by locals and tourists alike to be the best fine dining restaurant in Myrtle Beach. Located in the Restaurant Row area of Myrtle Beach, Thoroughbreds has been locally owned and operated from day one. Thoroughbreds offers only the finest quality cuisine and an unparalleled service. And it's not just food, it's a delicate art form. Thoroughbreds Chop House modifies the menu multiple times per year to capitalize on the current market trends. This allows them the opportunity to utilize local ingredients dependent upon the season. With an educated team of professional chefs from across the nation, the diverse menu is sure to satisfy even the most refined palates.